And according to Butabika, most of the cases in Butabika, people who are struggling mentally, the leading cause is a huge rate of alcohol consumption. And now this has put over 14 million Ugandans have a relation with mental illnesses, and this is caused by alcohol consumption. And the report, which is by the World Health Organization, is saying 85% of Ugandans are engaging in varying, cases of alcohol consumption. That is quite alarming. Now, there's so many things that are in this bill, but the minister, Honorable, will be really ironing out most of them that are in this bill. Now, the Alcoholic Drink Bill 2023, among others, suggests that all persons found liable of selling alcohol beyond 10 p.m. and midnight on weekdays and weekends, respectively, either be fined 20 million shillings or imprisoned for a period of 10 years or both. But not only that, a license shall not sell an alcoholic drink or native liquor before 7 hours and after 22 or 10, that is PM hours of working days. I don't know whether these things are possible, but Bill is going to be telling us what he thinks. Bill, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Are you excited about this bill?
Well,
you were one of the people behind in the kitchen back in some time back.
All the way from 2016.
Exactly.
At the time when Betty Namboze was trying to bring it forward, and it faced a lot of opposition. Especially the only thing that people talk about is what you last mentioned about not selling after 10, not opening or being able to sell before 5 p.m. and things of that nature. So it's really sad that people look at alcohol as a socio-economic driver.
Yes.
And they think it is necessary. And yet we have seen from research that alcohol is actually, there are no safe levels of using alcohol. All that information can be on Google. It is information that people prefer not to look out for. They say, the word goes around that it employs so many people, the distributors, the sellers, the ones who produce the barley or the sorghum that makes these. But we are saying that you can change whatever you're producing and it will sell. So instead of producing an abundance of alcohol, you reduce it and produce other products. So I'm very excited, yes. Though the excitement is, I wouldn't put it on the table because...
Why?
Come and go.
Because the stakeholders in this industry, do you think they are untouchable, or because of the fact that the industry is employing so many, the incomes, the revenues it's generating are also off the hooks? Is that what is demoralizing your hopes?
No, it's... there is a lot of power, of course, and you see that it's only the Ministry of Health that actually is supporting the real value of this bill.
Yes.
When you look at the other, I don't want to be specific to mention, but those industries which are interested in maximizing profit wouldn't look at it as a good thing, and the industries that deal with money. They are more powerful.
I'm telling you, talking about something like 11,000 million US dollars annually. That's a lot of money.
And so they are looking at the money that's coming out of it. They're not looking at the problem it's causing. Why I think sometimes is because the government is not responsible for people's health financially.
Okay.
In other countries, they have a burden on the government.
Yes.
Because the Ministry of Health is facing, a lot of payments in dealing with diseases, dealing with all
insurances and everything.
But here it is left to the people to deal with, so deal with it.
But I think that's where we are going. Government should be worried. I mean, these are the people who are in their productive age, and they're supposed to, take the country to places. If they are sick bodies, they are failing. Isn't that something to worry about for the government?
Yes, there are. Unfortunately, we don't see how much the government is worrying about necessary things. In the field of mental health, do you know that we only have one national referral hospital in the whole country? Let us consider them to have maybe 500 beds for 17, how many million, 40, how many million people?
Exactly, 45.
Yes, where are all these people who are drinking every day?
And so recently we had Butabika lamenting that they are overwhelmed
They are
by
overwhelmed
the numbers.
because they have about space for 500
Well,
or so
apparently
people.
they are admitting something
Over
like 2,000, over 1,000.
Yes, please. So you see that they don't, even the small measures that you would take, they are not taking them. There is a very interesting thing we talked about. Since 2018, and I don't think it has changed, we noticed that every year the taxes on alcohol were increasing. Okay? The funny thing about the taxes increasing annually is that the price of the drinks did not go up. So was that tax relevant or it was just a show? Also, the government is supposed to get money from the taxes and give it to Ministry of Health and to other sectors that are dealing with solving this problem. Do we see that? We are hoping that in the alcoholic drinks control bill, then probably this will come out. And that is if the legislators start looking beyond the nose of money and start looking at the problems that people are actually face. Yes, in the homes, for instance, domestic violence. The highest cause of domestic violence is because of the use of alcohol. Alcohol is the most available drug. It's the most dangerous of all the psychoactive substances. It's at the top of the list. You know, if you Google the chart, you'll see.
Yes.
It is it causes more harm and damage than all the other drugs, crack cocaine, heroin, the methamphetamines, and all those, tobacco, marijuana, and the rest. And yet it is legal, you see, with no restrictions.
No restrictions.
No laws.
People drink Monday to Monday. Everyone is surprised in East Africa.
Yes. A 7-year-old can go and buy alcohol. All they have to do is say, it's for mommy, it's for daddy.
You see, there is something which is happening. I was talking to friends who are in Europe, that even in Europe, even you cannot buy drugs in a pharmacy without a letter from a doctor.
Yeah, without a prescription.
You have to go with, and they confirm, then they will give you. If not that, now these are efforts of curbing a lot of self-medications, which has really now posing a great threat to our health. So I think that would be some of the regulations. Why would young people go to buy liquor on any shops or bars and everything without any restrictions? It's like as if you're introducing them to something. Now, Bill, please tell us, how bad is an addiction of alcohol?
Yeah, now I think that is where I fit in most with addictions. Addictions in relation to alcohol, we call it alcoholism. I wouldn't even wish my worst enemy to become an alcoholic because it is a socially accepted drink, and this socially accepted drink is the reason the person develops a problem. I'll give you an example. I started drinking in senior 2 entirely for pleasure because I was lured by my friends to go and join them, which wasn't my desire, but I did go with them. When I reached senior 4 because of alcohol, I had gotten my first suspension. When I was in senior 6, I got an expulsion, right? When I had just finished university, I was out of the country, so I came back. I was put into rehabilitation, and that's the first time I got to realize I had developed a problem, a disease. So when I started using it recreationally, you see how, let me give you an example. You see how when a person starts drinking, if you finish that cup of tea full of alcohol, and what happens to you?
What happens?
Do you remain stable? Those are the immediate effects. You get drunk. You lose coordination between your brain, your legs, your eyes. You can't see, you can't hear well. Music has to go up. Now, there are long-term effects. The more you use, that temporary, that's temporary, I've lost the word, that temporary situation of getting high becomes more and more permanent, and it comes with changing your mental structure and making you develop certain inconsistencies in your mental health. You start developing a tolerance towards alcohol, meaning you need to drink more to get the same effect that you used to get. You develop anxieties, you develop dependence on it, you develop depression.
People enjoy the unsober life.
Yes. Now the brain will start needing the alcohol for it to release pleasure.
So that means you lose interest
in
in the sober life and you enjoy this unsober. You don't feel any problem, you don't feel anything. Is it what you're talking about?
Yes, you do. You know, so unfortunately, it is because of the alcohol that goes to your brain that changes the way the brain starts working.
Wow.
It is not that. So when it's changed, it's like saying if I get water and I pour it on a piece of paper, it changes the way the paper is. But because someone will drink it and another person also drinks, and it has changed my mental structure, they will blame me. So I was blamed for the problems that were caused by the alcohol, and they told me that I was abusing alcohol.
Oh my goodness. So you are the one abusing alcohol.
I am the one abusing alcohol. And
so
that's what they say.
Alcohol doesn't have a problem.
Exactly.
The problem is the consumer.
That's the mentality that people
Oh my goodness.
have. Now, when they put the blame on the person, that's a marketing tool, because as long as they don't blame the drink, then they are safe.
Drug abuse.
Yes. So how can you abuse something that is the one that is abusing you? Because if I don't take it, it will not cause any structural change.
A couple of years ago, I saw a man who sued McDonald's for selling stuff, donuts that he consumed, and he became obese. He sued them and won the case. Say, if you didn't sell this thing, I would not be like this.
Yes.
So now here for us, we are shifting the blame from the drug to the person who's consuming. So that means for the drug, it's safe.
The drug is safe. So
the problem is you.
The problem is the person.
Already you're, oh my goodness, you are condemned in the first place, even before you use the drug. So the drug, it remains safe. That means it has many chances of surviving in the market, as opposed to you.
Yes.
You are going to be knocked out and you're gone.
Exactly.
The drug will stay.
Yeah, because they'll say, so why did you drink it? Now, I like to tell people that of what use is good information to an already drunk person. And then someone will also say, why don't you not drink it? Because someone will say, no, me, if I know I'm going to take too much, or if I take only 2, I'll stop. That is because people haven't understood the nature and the development of this disease. There are many factors involved.
Yes.
And one of the biggest ones is underage drinking. I had a very big campaign on this some years back. The earlier you start, the higher the chances you are of developing a dependence or an addiction.
Okay, my question is, how do people begin early? How? Are they initiated into the thing by their parents, by their peers, how do they get there early?
I was enticed by my peers, peer pressure.
Okay.
That's one of them. Parental influence. If young people see parents drinking, or uncles, and then you see a very drunk uncle, and then the child, they're inquisitive and they ask, what's wrong with uncle? And then the parents will tell him, oh, he's just happy.
Sometimes parents would send their kids to go get
or send the child to get the alcohol.
And others give them a sip.
Yes, they say, I want to teach him how to drink so that he doesn't get a shock when he gets into the system. You see,
Yet they
don't understand that once it goes into the person's system, into the child's system, it starts causing the changes in the brain. And the brain of a child is not yet fully developed at the age of 13. There is the prefrontal cortex, which is not yet, the front part of the brain, which is not yet developed. So it interferes with the growth of that part. And when it interferes with the growth of the prefrontal cortex, what happens is that the child now begins to develop a dependence on alcohol to perform certain functions that the front part of the brain is supposed to perform. So there is also, we hear children just for fun, they just want to have fun, just giving it a try, experimenting, we say. There is also, we hear young people saying they are stressed because of classwork. They are afraid of their parents or of teachers, or they have depression and anxiety. And if it is suggested to them that you can use this, or if they are watching a movie and every time the part where there is a stressful situation, you'll see a glass being put on the table and something being poured in it, or sitting at a bar counter. You know, the film industry is also pushing the narrative.
According to you, what needs to be done?
What needs to be done? First
to
and
save
foremost,
our population?
we need to have the strongest law possible.
Hold it right there. We need to have the strongest law possible. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear from what is the horse's mouth saying concerning this alcoholic drinkers bill. Will it mitigate alcoholism in Uganda, even the aftermath, or it is just trading on murky waters? We'll be right back.
Bethany TV for health. Are you looking for a platform to advertise your business and boost your sales? Bethany TV got you covered. Take advantage of our introductory rates and maximize your leverage for brand awareness, advertising, product launching, live coverages, activations, and so much more. For booking and more information, contact our sales team on 0785 576 269. Bethany TV for health. Introducing Bethany TV, the pioneer health and wellness channel in Uganda and Africa, having a profound commitment to health and wellness. Our content takes various forms, from music and series to documentaries, talk shows, news, features, movies, cartoons, and reality shows. We are a hybrid station available on free-to-air and pay platforms, embracing the digital age as we maintain a strong online presence through our website, social media platforms, and mobile apps. Explore our rich and diverse content, engage with us on social media, and be a part of the positive change we aim to bring to the health and wellness landscape. Bethany TV for health. Ladies and gentlemen, we are thrilled to introduce Bethany Santa Omugabi, who will be sharing wonderful goodies with you this Christmas season. Getting a chance to meet Bethany Santa Omugabi is easy. Just tune into Bethany TV and get to know our various programs and talented presenters. Bethany Santa Omugabi will make surprise appearances during our live programs and offer Christmas hampers filled with an assortment of goodies, including healthy food items. When you spot Bethany Santa Omugabi during any of our programs, be the first to call in and say, "Hello, Bethany Santa Omugabi. I am your Christmas date." He will then ask you a simple question about our programs and presenters. If you answer correctly, you instantly win a mega Christmas hamper. But that's not all. You can also respond on social media. The first 20 people to respond to each question on social media will be entered into a draw. And lucky winners will be picked and announced during Bethany Santa Live on Saturdays. Bethany Santa Omugabi, only on Bethany TV for health. Bethany TV for health.
Good morning once again. Thanks for joining us again. Chintu Mutesasida Seniors, my name. We are discussing, will Opendi's alcoholic drinkers bill mitigate alcoholism even the aftermath? That's the question, because as we speak now, Uganda is in 5th place according to the World Health Organization in alcohol consumption. In other words, 85% of Ugandans, they engage into alcoholism, which has posed a great threat to their lives. As we speak now, according to Butabika Referral Hospital, and also the Parliament and the Minister of Health says that most of the people who are admitted for mental challenges, according to the Minister of Health, their number one cause is alcoholism. Alcoholism is becoming a problem in Uganda. Now we want to see, can these bills they're tabling, will they do anything? I mean, will they cause any difference? Because we are losing on our young people. Remember, Uganda is the 2nd biggest, youngest population in the world. We're talking about production age, and these are people who are engaging in illicit drinks, consuming illicit drinks there. So we are joined with Benkondo here, Bill, and we're discussing what can be done. And we winded up saying that strong laws must be implemented, must be put in place. We saw something this very year, Rwanda passing something, and it's called Rwanda Development Board, said that commercial entertainment venues such as restaurants, bars, nightclubs, liquor stores must close by 1 a.m. Must close by 1 a.m. That is from Monday to Friday. And on weekends, 2 a.m. In Uganda, it is from morning to night. Now, that is it. So in Rwanda, they're trying to regulate the hours that can get people to consume, become drunkards. But we saw what happened in COVID-19 during the lockdown. People became drunkards and drunkards and drunkards. President Museveni was calling them people who are an endangerment to themselves. Yes. And he was like, no. They were the last people, I think, to be opened. Yes. But again, when they opened the night business, especially drinkers, it somehow boosted our economy. And I'm telling you, Bill, I don't know how we're going to do this thing, because if government is getting a lot of revenue in these guys, and however taxes are laid upon these people, they don't affect them, apparently.
You see, we fear too much. And I say that with confidence. You know, in 2015, when the Tobacco Control Act, I think it was being enacted, when they were passing it, people said, this is Uganda, these things don't change, blah, blah, blah. But do you realize the drastic changes that took place when it happened? There are some laws that just come in and people see the sense in them, and they implement themselves. People like comparing the Alcoholic Drinks Control Bill to traffic laws and all these things. But no, you see, people are aware. Before 2015, someone would smoke a cigarette right next to you, and nobody would say a word, and it became normal. When the bill was passed, people started enforcing it themselves. People do not like what alcohol is doing in their homes, but because it's a socially accepted drink, they're untouchable, there are no laws, nobody can say anything, because we're still on the Nguli, is it called the Nguli Portable Act of 1965. So people are just playing around with how they can use these laws, and they are useless.
Do you dream a day, a country without alcohol? Is it possible? Can it happen? How can that happen?
Alcohol is useful, of course, for external purposes, or like cleaning wounds, and maybe for pharmaceuticals.
Yes, so wines for baking cakes and...
Well, for certain reasons, the alcohol is necessary. But if it could be limited to those reasons, then of course...
Is that possible, Bill?
There are many countries that have know that we have prohibition laws against alcohol, and they are doing extremely well. I would like you to compare Uganda to Saudi Arabia. If alcohol is bringing so much money, I mean, talk about most of the Arab countries or Muslim countries or areas. They do not condone the use of alcohol. Therefore, they have replacements for which they get revenue. It shouldn't be the case.
So, do you think this bill, the alcoholic drink control bill, which seeks, it came with fines, like all persons found liable of selling alcohol beyond 10 p.m. and midnight on weekdays and weekends, respectively, either be fined 20 million or imprisoned for a period of 10 years. Is that such a threatening penalty or punishment?
No, it is not. But you would like to avoid it, because then you know that there is the possibility, much as people believe they can bribe themselves out and give someone 1 million.
Because I'm asking, who's going to implement this?
The people will, because our children are suffering. You don't know what is happening in homes. I'm an addiction consultant, especially, I'm a substance use professional.
Yes.
Now, I talk to people every day. They are asking questions every day, and they are looking for solutions every day. So when something like this happens, they are going to jump onto it, because families are breaking apart.
Yeah, that's it.
Children have gone amok.
Domestic violences.
Yes, and nobody knows what to do. Now, if alcohol is out of control, then the other drugs also have leverage to swim around within it.
What's your take on stakeholders like religious leaders, cultural leaders, and many others to engage into this fight, parents?
Well, I think they have left it so far. Everyone for himself and God for us all.
Maybe they don't know how much it is affecting.
Some of them don't know how much, but I would suspect that also a number of them do not want to tickle their congregations, and so they let it slide. If I'm not being unfair.
Why are they afraid?
There is a I don't know, you said 85% of the adults.
According to the World Health Organization.
Young
adults, actually.
So now what are you talking about the population? Are they the ones that go to church?
Exactly.
So you want to chase away to your congregation? Some of them play into, giving a message that only supports their...
I think it's becoming a conflictuality. There are religions who subscribe to drinking, like the Catholic faith, and they say it is okay.
Yes.
But they always say drink some.
Yes.
Drink, at minimal levels.
Yes.
But do people hear the minimal kind of...
Of course, we can't rule out the fact that they are not educated about it. And with these laws, there will be a budget that can enable awareness to happen. Also, there will also be subsidies for rehabilitation centers. It's overwhelming to have a problem, and then you have to go and pay 2.5 million shillings for a month to get treatment.
So you have hope.
In a private rehabilitation.
Yes, thank you so much. You have hope that if government does not implement this, people will.
Trust me, when the tobacco, we use examples. When the Tobacco Act was in 2015 was being enacted. People thought it's just another thing, but these are things that touch people. Now, if you smoke next to someone in a non-gazetted place, you'll have problems. People even fear to smoke in public. It's now rare to see people actually smoking. The smoking has gone down. There are no adverts. Adverts are the biggest lure to use. Have you noticed why they have the biggest and best advert? Because they know without that shout, they'll not get a drink. Do you know why bars and
liquor stores,
why they have all this flash and loud sound? It is because people ordinarily would not drink if there was no pull for it. So they try to catch their clients young. They try to catch their clients young because they say once you get them young, you have a client for life. because you develop the dependence. They're using the science of the use of this psychoactive substance to lure people into getting involved with using it. Therefore, you're recruiting.
To be honest, Bill, I'm struggling to believe what you're saying, because there's so many things that government has called upon people to engage in, like fighting corruption, fighting all these things, and police, yamba police. But when people are not jumping on a chariot, so I'm struggling to believe.
Corrupt. Show me a Ugandan who is not. Okay. I will take you on the street.
Okay, now
we sit in the car to drive it.
How is the bill then going to be implemented by persons if everyone is
because you see
victim?
The greed of people wanting to pick a pen from the, what do you call them, from the seminar, and take those small things. Wherever there is in Jaulo, you say, someone said there was an opportunity to take 200K, and if someone doesn't take it, they say he's stupid. You don't refund such money. You see what I'm saying? That is, we are all corrupt in that way, or the majority. But look here, if your wife is coming home 3 times in a week, and she's coming only when she has a hangover, and your children are just there. If your neighbor is a drunk who comes home making noise every night at 4 a.m., waking you up, preventing you from having a good night's sleep. If your child became an alcoholic and was running around on the streets, not going to school, tell me that you wouldn't feel the need to respond. Because when World Health Organization says that with young adults aged 18 to 35 accounting to up to 85% of the foresaid figure, an alcoholic drinks control bill is being mooted. And we're talking about consumption of 12 million liters, over 12 million liters of pure alcohol consumed by Ugandans annually. How are the alcoholics going to fight fellow alcoholic? Because are you having some sympathy for the disease? No, not sympathy, Bill, but I'm struggling because I wonder how people can really implement a law in such a lawless country. I mean, when everyone, the lawmakers, the law enforcers themselves are failing, and other people
I
will tell you how. If a mother who is struggling at her home comes to a shop and sees a young child buying a kachupa of varaj, she will take action because she is affected at home, right? Now let me show you how many people, by example, are affected, right?
Yes.
Is there anyone who doesn't know someone who has got a problem with alcohol?
Of course not.
Everybody knows someone. That, without any statistics, shows how bad it is. Now, we usually go to a shop and see a child coming to buy drinks, and people just keep quiet. But before, they used to come to buy 2 cigarettes. Children were being sent.
Yes, I remember that.
It no longer happens. Police did not have to intervene. So there are certain things which by nature could have a way of sorting themselves out. So we are fearing that, it will not happen. And I remember even in the discussions earlier in 2016-17 with the Namboze bill at the time, people are saying, no, these are too harsh. They will be kicked out by parliament. They cannot be implemented. And for me, taking a back seat, I was like, why don't you just put it there and it's not implemented? And we see, because all you have to do is make an example of 2, 3, 4, and things will happen. The reason as to why the alcohol industry is fighting it so hard is because they know there will be a very big difference.
So for you, you think the greatest opposers to this bill are
the ones making money from it,
and the businessmen,
the big alcohol
manufacturers and business dealers, and the alcohol dealers.
Yeah.
But you think once President assents to this bill, becomes law, everything will be set?
100%. And I hope this will be kept, that if or when it is, let me be a bit more positive and say that finally it will, in 2 years, make the assessment.
Bill, just look in this camera and talk to us, speak to a parent who has a child who is an alcoholic and they're struggling, or a person who could be watching, and tell them what they need to do to get off this trail.
First and foremost, the best prevention tools for a parent are when you have young people, especially under the age of 18, there are 3 principles that I always preach about, which are monitoring, boundaries, and bonding. We have a problem that today so many parents bond a lot, but they do not want to monitor or give boundaries because they think they don't work. Why? During our era, 20 or so years back and before, parents or the communities emphasized more on boundaries and monitoring and left out the bonding. But the 3 working together, it would be long to explain, but the 3 working together would give very good results. And we say that if you've noticed a problem, if you feel something is not right about someone's using, then something usually isn't right. Seek professional help. People fear to seek professional help, but the first way to solve a problem is to understand it through somebody who understands it. And I would also say that encourage. Let us talk, let us be loud. Let us, today revolutions are for folding fists. Let's tell the government, let's push them, let's put some pressure and say, let's have this slow, let's see how it goes. And that's what's most important.
So, because according to the word of the Minister of Health and Butabika, the greatest consumers of these alcohol drinks are males.
Yes.
At 19 liters, over 19 liters, and the females are at 4. Why is that males are so much into alcohol consumption than females? Is it cultural related?
Yes.
It's a thing for male. Men used to go back to African traditional society. This is our thing. Women stay in the kitchen. Or
yes, again, you see that it's the society, it's the pool of society. That's why the majority of men drink. It's still a taboo to see a woman drinking and all that, although over the last few years, it is beginning to change. But that is more in the urban middle class. It's happening. But otherwise, when you go countrywide, you'll find that it's still a taboo. That even when a girl starts drinking, they'll talk about her, they'll shame her, and that prevents her from continuing. Continuing to use is what leads to the problem of addictions usually.
There are schools that have canteens selling alcohol.
I hope I never come across one, because
some international schools. I mean, these are high-end schools. Which I mean, there's freedom to do stuff. There are schools that have parties, prom parties, and everything. And alcohol is among the drinks that are entered into schools.
Yeah, of course, they know themselves that it is illegal because the law states it, that it's not allowed. So if it is being done, it would be being done illegally. And actually, in these international schools, I think currently the bigger problem is more pharmaceutical drugs.
Okay.
Today, they have gained so much popularity because they are safer for them, and vaping, these e-cigarettes.
Yeah.
But if there are any schools that are doing that, it would be really sad, because even the law says that there should be no alcohol outlets, right? Within, I think, 500 or between 100 and 500 meters of proximity to a school. Here, of course, we see that even directly opposite a kindergarten, there is a bar. That is the unfortunate thing. But that is with the law.
Okay, the law enforcers.
The kindergarten can complain, and they will have to move.
And guess what? They are not complaining, because I know.
Because there is no law.
There's no law. Okay.
Yes.
Do you think extending the age from 18 maybe to 20 would do something to alleviate the high consumption of alcohol in a country like Uganda?
We used to have this saying: keep a child from smoking and drinking until 21, and they probably will never need to do it. Ooh. The earlier you start, yes, it's a fact. Most young people who join campus and survive the first year without using never do, because they don't see the need, okay? And those who do probably eventually become social users. Social users meaning they use it only when there's an occasion, but they'll never think of it, they'll never go out of their way. They don't use it as a coping mechanism. If I'm sad, I'll not look for alcohol as a solution. I'll look for something else, because the brain has matured without involving alcohol as a solution. You understand? So yeah, it helps a lot.
How does alcohol affect a man who is the leader of the home? does it really dismantle him to nothing? I mean, is there what really great thing that can you, according to what you've seen and where you've been, that is so bad about alcohol to a man?
Yes, the first thing that almost every parent that I know, especially the man who drinks tells their child is that don't ever drink. Because you see, the problem is this: when they start, they develop a problem, and when they want to stop, they cannot stop. Now, when a man is using and they fail to stop, and it is affecting their finances, it's affecting their position in the home. I mean, I was at home, I had a wife, and I was drinking. I didn't feel worthy of being in that place.
Seriously?
Yes, because I mean, you come home, you don't even know exactly what you did, you're a mess, so you just try to cover up and be, be macho and say, I've just forgotten, or I was angry, or I was depressed, or I was stressed. I didn't mean it. You're apologizing all the time. You see, that is because even you yourself, you don't know what's happening to you. Like I said, you take the alcohol, and some people say then the alcohol starts taking you. It takes over. You cannot drink alcohol and it doesn't do its job. It's like saying that you put fuel in a car and it doesn't do the job it's supposed to do.
Bill, thanks so much for these words. Unfortunately, we have to cut it from here. We still need to tackle a lot, and I promise you, we have to come back and create more awareness to this. This is your camera, please. What will be your last word to that parent, to that child, to that boy, to that man, to that person who's struggling with alcohol? And lastly, to the government.
Yes, there is help. There is help. There are many professionals. If you see something that is inconsistent with what you believe in or agree with, seek help. Start with the doctor near you, and then seek for a mental health professional, and then you will get a solution. Government, my appeal is, I hope this time we are going to have something passed. Our president, we commend you for always, talking about it. But let's stop talking now. Let's have some action. Let this bill be passed, and let's have some laws, and then we shall continue from there.
Thank you so much, Bill. Thanks so much, viewers, for joining us this beautiful morning. We've been tackling the Opendi's Alcoholic Drinks Control Bill 2023, whether it will mitigate alcoholism and aftermath, or it will actually be like any other bill. Anyway, you heard it from Bill Benkunde there. He's an addiction consultant, and he's got all this experience. Thanks for joining us. Chintu Mutesasila Senior is my name. Until tomorrow, same time, same place. Good morning.